so I made up my mind. Next time I come into town to trade, I'm going to bring me back a wife.
Well, that's a fine thing, I must say. Thinking you could come here and trade for a wife like she was a bag of meal.
Y'all, I just finished watching the musical Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. It's Musicland Mag. This was one that I had heard about from other people. I've never actually seen it until this time. And y'all, this was the wildest musical I think I have ever seen. First off, the main guy in this movie, Adam, I detest him. I could not stand him. He is the most sexist, misogynistic guy. And in the back of my mind, like, I know I have to keep in mind that this came out in 1950, but just his whole thought on women and just, like, he was terrible in this movie. And honestly, like, he started off, he was, like, arrogant, and I was like, oh, I don't like him. And then there was, like, a moment where he was singing Bless Your Beautiful Hide that I was like, okay, I kind of like him because you saw him, like, falling in love. But then immediately when he took his wife to the farm to meet the brothers, I instantly did not like him for the rest of the movie. Even his wife is basically teaching his six brothers like how to be gentlemen, how women want to be treated. And then the brother just goes and completely undoes that because he's like, that's not how a man should act. And so his brothers are used to being raised by him, so they go with what their brother Adam says. And then there's like a whole plot where the six brothers, because of Adam, once again, they kidnap six women that they happened to fall in love with when they were in town previously. They kidnap them. And this is where it just starts going all over the place, and it's wild. And so they're kidnapping them, they take them back to their farm, and it just so happens that this family, they are in the country, like, separated from the town, and early winter when they kidnap these people, so they start an avalanche, which won't get cleared for months. That way the women can stay with them. And it's terrible. Like, even the ending, like, I feel like there was Stockholm Syndrome in this musical. And so the women, like, fall in love with the brothers that kidnap them, and they don't want to go back to their town, and it's so wild. Like, it's all over the place. I was liking the brothers because I thought I saw character growth, but Adam was the issue this whole movie. Like, they would grow, and he's like, that's not how a man should act, and then he would take them back, like, revert them back to where they were growing as people. So Adam was trash. He was the worst character in this musical, and honestly, just the story of this was wild. Like, I honestly feel like this is a musical about male ego. That's pretty much it. I don't know if y'all have ever seen this musical, but it's just wild. And then another thing about this is how, so the brothers, they're supposed to be like the manly man. They live in the country. They're rough, rugged. And the part that would have me cracking up is the brothers would like sing. And like when they would have like singing dance numbers, they would be like all tough, you know, like going into it with the deep voices. But then when it would be time for them to actually start dancing, they would burst out like the ballet. So it made absolutely no sense. And I was just cracking up at that. Yeah, this was a wild watch. I've never seen a musical like this. It was kind of like a Western musical, I guess, if you can kind of put it into that. There are some songs that I liked. I really liked Bless Your Beautiful Hide. Then I did like Sobbin' Women, but I did read some stuff online about what that's actually about. So I was like, oh, I can't do that song. And I did like it at the time, but now that I know what it was about, I was like, oh, I can't like that anymore. And then there's like June Bride, which I feel like you've kind of heard before, because I kind of heard it. I didn't know it was from this. But yeah, this is a wild watch. If you ever just want to be like, what in the world? Like, there was just so much going on. It honestly, to me, did not feel like a musical. There were songs, but it was out there. It's on a league of its own, essentially. So yeah. But yeah, so let me know in the comments if you've ever seen this, if you've ever heard of this. This is another one that came out, I think, 1950s. And I think back in the day, they made like a TV show based off this musical as well. So you may have heard of the TV show and not the actual musical, but I stumbled across it on Tubi and I was like, I've heard about this. Let me actually watch it. And yeah, this was definitely an experience. I absolutely will say that I love the wife because she was a strong woman and she was not taking anything. Like, Adam was being a jerk. He was being sexist. He was being all sorts of problem issues. And she's like, I'm not standing for that. So she like had kicked him out of the house when he was like acting that way. And she's like, you're not coming near me with that. And not only that, she stood up for the women in this movie. She's like, how in the world are y'all going to go and kidnap them just because Adam tells you that that's what you need to do to get a woman? And so she just didn't take any mess. She was strong. She was like, no. And she was just not taking anything. And I really, 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 really liked her in this movie. She was really good. And also the other girls, like, they started off kind of helpless, but as they got to be around the wife, they got stronger too and realized what they wanted and the type of women that they wanted to be. So I think the women growth in this movie was really good. Adam was the problem child. Another thing is, since this is like a musical from 1950, the backdrops were so bad. They were obviously fake. And so that would be funny too. Like, you would have scenes and then like look in the background, it's like they just painted it and just put it on set. So you did have that. I kind of would like to see this musical updated nowadays to where Adam is not as bad as he was. Like, he was the worst character. And even the brothers, I don't know. Like, I like the premise, but I feel like it needs to get updated a lot to today's terms. But it was definitely very entertaining, and it is a wild musical. I had never seen it. It was definitely an experience my whole time watching it. I just got myself like, what am I watching right now? What is this? But yeah, okay. I will see you guys soon for my next review. This has been another episode of Real Talk with Noelle.